Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Now that funding for 2 new South Dakota state prisons has been approved, the state is hoping that will help solve the issue of overcrowding at the women's prison in Pierre and the state penitentiary in Sioux Falls. But is overcrowding the only issue happening within prison walls?
Rebecca Shaw was just released from the women's prison in February after serving 9 months for drug possession charges. She says she saw overcrowding that led to violence amongst inmates, but she also experienced issues with her medical needs not being met.
I never once seen a heart doctor. I have a pacemaker, defibrillator in my chest. I had some problems with it, went to the hospital. Staff didn't know what to do. The nursing didn't know what to do. So they just left me untreated. I never seen a cardiologist or anything. Filed grievances. I filed many grievances. My grievances never got answered.
In tonight's KELOLAND Investigates, I sit down with Shaw and a mother of a current state penitentiary inmate to look into the current issues they are seeing within the South Dakota prison walls and how they go beyond just the number of bodies in the cells. A Pine Ridge murder suspect has made 2 plea deals. Dre Redfeather is accused of stabbing and killing Jared Kill's enemy last July.
According to federal court documents, he'll plead guilty to assault with a dangerous weapon. In that case, he faces a maximum of 10 years in prison. Redfeather is also accused of assaulting a federal officer last summer. Court documents say he's also reached a plea deal in that case and faces up to 8 years in prison.
The South Dakota Supreme Court will not allow expert testimony in a murder trial. The defense for a Wagner mother accused of second-degree murder in the death of her 3-year-old daughter won't be able to use an expert's testimony, suggesting another boy had the capacity to kill the girl based on the boy's previous behavior.
The High Court says the psychologist's testimony would violate state laws surrounding what can be used as evidence. You can read more on the court's decision with this story from Capitol News Bureau reporter Bob Mercer on our website.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munn. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, everybody. We are following rain showers this morning, central, north central South Dakota. They are moving to the northeast, and we'll watch for developing showers, even some thunder showers today. Maybe around the midday hour along the border of Minnesota and South Dakota. If we don't see anything then, we'll have to wait until late this evening through the overnight. Temperatures will be cooler today, not setting any records. We'll have highs in the 60s in southeastern South Dakota, cooler to the north and to the west. More details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. The city of Watertown is experiencing moderate flooding due to the higher temperatures and melting snow. Lake Campeska has risen over 17 inches in the past day and a half. Lake residents are advised to sandbag and watch the lake for moving ice.
The city has also set up precautionary sandbags along the Big Sioux River throughout the city. The river is expected to crest early Friday morning. You can find updates from the city on the online story right here on KELOLAND.com. It's that time of year where fresh vegetation has yet to sprout and the old grass is drying up, making for a high fire danger.
It's keeping fire crews busy as they try containing fast-moving and unpredictable fires, including one east lake of Lake Vermilion on Wednesday evening into Thursday. Departments from Canastota, Humboldt, Hartford, and Parker were all called out to fight the wildfire.
There's quite a few challenges. This is quite hilly terrain too, and you get the wind going to it. As the fire comes up the hill, it'll really ramp up speed and heat, and you got to make sure you're in a good position so you don't get yourself in trouble as well, and just to try to get it contained as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
That's not the only area battling grass fires. Arlington Fire Chief Trevor Keating sent us these photos of his crew working a fire in Oakwood Lakes State Park in Brookings County. He says they got it contained before it reached the house in the background. The Yankton Fire Department says a fire west of town was sparked by a burn pile rekindled due to the wind. Officials say a large fire was reported around 3:30 Thursday afternoon.
The Yankton Fire Department posted these pictures of the fire to Facebook. Authorities say it was visible from a distance. Lesterville and Tabor fire departments were called in to help battle the blaze. The fire chief in Hospers, Iowa, is looking into what sparked a hay bale fire west of town. The Sioux County Sheriff posted these pictures of the scene to Facebook. Officials say the Hospers Fire Department responded to the fire just after 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon.
Crews from Orange City, Alton, Boyden, and Granville were called in to help. As firefighters were arriving on scene, a propane tank exploded in the fire. A shed with around 80 hay bales inside was lost. A concrete truck, 2 trailers, and a mini excavator were also damaged. One man was taken to Orange City Area Health with minor injuries. And Governor Kristi Noem is expected to sign an executive order at the National Rifle Association's annual forum today.
According to the governor's office, the executive order will, quote, further protect the Second Amendment rights of South Dakotans. No other details are known at this time. Noem is scheduled to speak during the forum at 2:15 Central Time. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Scott Munn. Scott?
All right, good morning, everybody. We are looking at a rainfall outlook that will take us through the day tomorrow. There is that strip of moisture from Aberdeen to the southwest where it looks like we may see around a 1/4 inch of rainfall. Some isolated spots a little more. I think in eastern and southeastern Ketherland, where we do have these areas highlighted in green, we could see that 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rainfall, especially if we get a couple of these thunderstorms to develop in parts of eastern and southeastern Ketherland. The thinking is we may see something develop around midday, around the noon hour. If we don't see it then, we'll have to wait until later this evening and tonight. As we do take a look at our temperatures, they are cooling. We're now at 54 degrees as of 7 o'clock in and around Sioux Falls. So with that change in wind direction, we do have that cooler air coming in across southeastern South Dakota. As we do take a look at Futurecast for you as we go through the morning hours into about midday, it's trying to pick up on a couple of these thunderstorms here along the border of South Dakota and Minnesota. Notice the break that we get in central and northern Ketherland from the rain this morning. By 5 o'clock, it develops again western and southwestern South Dakota. And as we do hit the evening hours, I do want to highlight this area in southeastern Ketherland again. Notice how it's trying to bring in these scattered showers and thunderstorms. They'll develop and move to the northeast, and then things become a little more widespread as we do go through the overnight hours and into tomorrow. Tomorrow, I expect to see the rain to continue through the morning and into the afternoon. Even a chance at a couple of snowflakes in and around Watertown early in the day. Winds from the north and northwest for today, helping to bring in the cooler air. That will continue tomorrow. In fact, wind gusts tomorrow over 30 miles per hour. Then we're talking wind gusts over 40 to 45 in eastern and southeastern Ketherland on Sunday. There's that marginal risk for severe weather for today, with hail and wind being the main threat out of any storm that does develop. So for today, highs in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Tonight with the rain will fall to the 30s. And for tomorrow, you can expect temperatures in the 40s and 50s with rain, I would say, almost throughout the day in eastern and southeastern Ketherland. You can always check the details of the 7-day forecast while you're here online. Have a great day.